now we'll look at discontinuing the product, and this is product alpha has revenue of 545, variable cost of goods sold of 400. Let's put that down. Let's say we've got alpha here, and revenues are 545. Cost of goods sold, variable cost of goods sold of 400,000. Okay, variable selling expenses. Variable selling expenses, I lost 65,000. Okay, so let's stop here and give ourselves a contribution margin. So that would be 545 minus 465. This is where I miss having a live class because everybody could tell me the answer. 80,000. And then they've got fixed costs, a good hunk of fixed cost. Fixed cost of 90,000. So they've got a loss of $10,000. Okay, that's how they're operating right now. So we're going to keep it or discontinue it. Now, if we discontinue it, if we discontinue this, then we're going to have revenue of 0 and no variable cost of goods sold and no variable selling and no contribution margin, but we will have $90,000 of fixed costs. Isn't that something? So instead of losing $10,000, we'd be losing $90,000. Does that make sense? So the difference here is $80,000. All right? Because we lose everything through our contribution margin. What we're really losing is that $80,000 in contribution margin right there. Okay, let's take a look at another one now. This is this is an income statement by a product line for Celestial Beverage, and this indicates the following. This is for Star Cola. Okay, this is our product line. Okay, and they have, what do they have? They've got cost of goods sold here and operating expenses, but we've got to take these apart into variable and fixed. So it's estimated that 20% of the cost of goods sold is fixed. Okay, 20%, so I've got to take 184. Let's take this apart. Let's just have a fixed, a variable and a fixed column. So for sure, sales, of course, are variable. And from cost of goods sold, 20% is fixed. So if I take 184 times 0.8, that's 147.2 is variable. Doesn't seem right, does it? 184 times 0.8. It is. 147.2 is variable. Do we have other variable operating? No, that's all we've got. Okay, 30% of the operating fixed, so 30% of the operating expenses are variable. So 255 times 0.7, 178.5. Those are for operating expenses, would be variable. And what would our fixed portion be over here? You know what I think we can do is just continue here. So I've got 390 minus 147.2 minus 179.78.5, 64.3. And I would always take this, that's your contribution margin, and then we'll subtract our fixed costs. So our fixed costs are, what do we have? 184 minus 147.2. So this is, the fixed piece is 36.8. And this one was for the operating expenses 255 minus 178.5, 76.5. So our total fixed expenses are 113.3. We can subtract those here. And then I've got an operating, call it operating income, it's really going to be a loss. But 113.3 minus 64.3. That gives us a nice even $49,000 loss. Okay? So now, question is, should we discontinue this product? Okay? So this is with it. Let's say without. Or we'll call it discontinued. And we're really looking at this column, okay? So we would have 0 revenue, 0 variable costs, 0 variable operating expenses, and 0 contribution margin, so we've lost that. And it tells us that the fixed costs will not be materially affected if the product is discontinued. So we're still going to have to subtract that 113.3. Okay, so now our loss is 113.3. So the difference between the two is 64,300. And notice how that's equal to your contribution margin. Okay, so that's our analysis, and should they be retained? We'd be better off keeping them than losing all this. I mean, maybe we can do something about those fixed costs, maybe sell some plant or something like that, but right now this looks like our best option. Okay.